So we're talking about volume of cones, pyramids, and spheres today. And just a reminder that the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the area of the base times the height of the whole figure. And remember that cone, the only difference for a cone is that a cone has a base that is a circle. So the formula would be 1/3, and then the area of the base, capital B, can be replaced by pi r squared times height. So let's do a few examples. In this first one, number 1, we have to find capital B, area of the base, and remember that the base shape is a square, or actually a rectangle. So this is going to be 5 by 4 rectangle. So the area of our base is base times height. So 5 times 4, which is 20. And the height of this pyramid, remember height is the vertical height of the whole pyramid, not the slant height. Okay, so that blue line there, that's our height of the pyramid, 6. So all we do for our volume is we're going to do 1/3 times 20 times 6. And that's going to give us 40. And for our units, we're going to have feet cubed. Since we're talking about space, 3 dimensions, volume is always cubic units. All right, for the cone, remember the area of the base is pi r squared. So I need to know what my radius is. And in this diagram, they told us that that radius is 3 inches. And the height is the vertical height up and down. So they did not give us that. They gave us the slant height, 5. So we have to draw out this triangle that the radius makes, the height makes, and then the slant height makes. So we have to do Pythagorean Theorem in order to figure out the height. So we're going to have 3 squared plus h squared equals 5 squared. And I'm going to subtract the 9 and then take the square root. So I'm getting h is 4. So I'm going to have, for my base, area of the base is going to be pi times 3 squared, which is going to be 9 pi. Let me write that here. And then my height is 4. So for my volume, I'm doing 9 pi times 4, which is 36 pi. And that would be, oh, nope, back up. I forgot one crucial thing, and that's the 1/3. Remember, this is a cone, not a cylinder. So I need to do 1/3 times that. So if I do 1/3 times that, I'm going to get 12 pi, not 36 pi. And so that's in inches cubed. And then if I wanted to do that as a decimal, I could type in 12 pi, and that would give me about 37.7. So don't make that same mistake. Make sure you remember that 1/3. For volume of a sphere, the volume is simply 4/3 times pi radius cubed. Okay, so it's kind of like our other ones where we're dividing our surface area by 3 or our volume by 3. Okay, so for this one, we need to make sure we know what the radius is. So 10 goes all the way across here in our first sphere example. So the radius is going to be halfway. So the radius is only 5. So we're going to plug in 4/3 times pi times 5 to the 3rd power. Make sure you make note of that. That is r cubed, not r squared. I know we're used to doing r squared. So if you do that, that comes out to be 500 over 3 pi. And that would be centimeters cubed. And if I wanted to get a decimal, that would give me 523.6. Now over here, I'm going to move this. Over here we have a half of a sphere. So I have a hemisphere. So if I have half of a sphere, then I'm not going to use the same exact volume formula. I'm going to use my volume formula and then divide by 2. So I'm going to be using this 4/3 pi r cubed, but I'm going to divide that by 2 since I'm only doing half of that sphere. I'm taking the whole sphere and cutting it into 2. Okay, so if we do that, my radius is 5 inches. So that's what they tell us. So I'm doing 5/3 pi times 5 cubed, and I'm dividing that whole thing by 2. So we're actually going to get the same thing that we got over in the first example, but I'm going to divide that by 2. So I'm going to get 250 pi over 3, and that's going to be, the units here are inches cubed. So then that comes out to be about 261.8. All right, so we'll do more examples in class.